For the latest film interviews, reviews, and everything making news in pop culture, subscribe to Film Companion now.
You guys, it's time. Women telling women stories. Hey guys, my name is Sucharita. This is Film Companion. You're watching Not a Movie Review, and right now I am not going to be reviewing Tribhanga. Before we begin, this video is brought to you by Mubi, a curated streaming service showing exceptional films from around the globe. Get a whole month free at mubi.com/Sucharita. What I recommend you watch this month is review ke end mein. Written and directed by actor and filmmaker Renuka Shahane, Tribhanga weaves multiple stories of relationships across generations within families, with its focus specifically on the enigmatic, fragile, strong bond between mothers and daughters. You meet Anu, a Bollywood actor who we are told is also a professional Odissi dancer. More on this later. Anu, who has a young, married, pregnant daughter, I'm assuming is at least in her mid to late 40s, but her actions remain that of someone much younger, in that she's still mad at her mother and is convinced that her mother ruined her and her brother's lives. As the story unfolds, you find out what had happened, which led her to be resentful at her mother, so resentful that she stopped calling her Ai and continues to mock her even as the poor woman is in a coma. Lekin as viewers, until that moment arrives, one can't be blamed for wanting Anu to just not be so first half of Kuch Kuch Hota Hai Kajol. You see, everything requires a snappy retort, every situation has a funny face to go along with it, coupled with, because it's a digital release, lots of galis, which frankly as far as Indian films go, refreshing, but still manages to cross over into not real but sounds like it's for dialogue purposes. You get to spend some time with her estranged mother Nayan, a celebrated Hindi literature writer who has slipped into a coma, but before that had happened, she had managed to give a couple of video interviews to a biographer who is writing her life story, played by Kunal Roy Kapoor, who talks in Hindi which is less natural and more Dharmendra in Chupke Chupke. In the mix is also Anu's young daughter, played by Mithila Palkar, Masha, who craves the stable family which neither her mother nor her grandparents provided to her. As you continue to watch the film, it becomes clearer that the intention and the story were in fact better than the screenplay and actual filmmaking you're watching. Tribhanga spends too much time giving us backstories narrated by all the characters to the biographer instead of taking us into real Pedro Almodovar Pain and Glory style flashback sequences, subtly complementing these flashbacks with continued after effects, showing us how trauma shapes lives and not simply transform into cute little side quirks. But unlike Pain and Glory, Tribhanga fails to create fully realized human beings beyond quirks and idiosyncrasies afforded to these characters by Renuka Shahane. Once it is established that Nayan is the older repentant parent struggling with loneliness, her daughter Anu, the offspring adult who never quite forgave her mother, and then granddaughter Masha, who only wants to get married and have children. The surround sound and other supporting characters and tapestry become dull and unimportant, like quite fast. A story of female bonds spanning over 3 generations has the scope to really analyze not just what it is to be a daughter and a mother, but really go into the psyche of regret and lost time. जो आत्ममंथन लगता है अपनी गलतियां एक्सेप्ट करके सुधारने में, वो अनु को ऐसे 1.5 मिनट में हो जाता है, लेकिन उनकी माँ को जो कई सालों से ग्रेजुअली हो रहा है वो दिखाया नहीं जाता. When do you realize your parents messed you up? At what stage or after what event into adulthood do you begin to forgive them? What does it take? Right. That's the story. It seemed like Renuka Shahane tried to answer these with Tribhanga, but it just got caught up in the background music, filmy dialogue, and frankly Kajol. Now, Odissi. Kajol is shown to be a Bollywood actor who takes to Odissi dancing much into her adulthood, but there's a talent for it. Sure. But when the film doesn't bring any flavor from her career as a movie star and an Odissi dancer into the larger story, you can't help but wonder why were we given that information. She could be a scientist and her backstory and present personality would still pretty much be the same. I see Renuka Shahane's attempt, I see it and I admire it, and I'm glad for it, I'm here for it. To show women so casually just being human. These characters are flawed, weird, and far from perfection. But just because one of them is an atheist, one is an Odissi dancer, and another is Baha'i for unexplained reasons, it begins to feel more checklist than layered and sincere. So on a scale of 1 to 10, Tribhanga is 2009 was when Renuka Shahane directed her first feature film. 12 years ka gap for this second one. It's truly a miracle putting a film together. This session is brought to you by Mubi, a curated film streaming service showing exceptional films from around the globe. Mubi premieres a new film every day, showcasing true classics to modern masterpieces from across India and all over the world. With Mubi, each and every film is hand-selected, so you'll never spend more time looking for something great to watch than actually watching something great. It's like your own personal film festival, streaming anytime, anywhere. This week, I recommend you watch Werner Herzog's incredible Family Romance LLC, a Mubi release exclusively available on the platform. And subscribe to Film Companion.